What's going on at Manchester United? A burning question always. Harry Maguire's come out and let everybody know that he's not going to be captain. Ten Hag's spoken to him and he's going to replace him. That seems like they're trying to just let him know basically you're not going to be a starting centre-back. If you want to leave, now's a good time to do it, Harry. If I'm Man United, I'm looking at McTominay, Fred, Martial, Harry Maguire. You can offer these players to Tottenham and say, right, what's it going to take to get us Harry Kane? Because he should be the number one target. You could argue that he should have been the number one target before they signed Mount. The keeper was crucial as well, of course, after De Gea left, but not just that, the style of play that Ten Hag wants. Onana is the perfect keeper. Everyone saw in the Champions League final how good he is with his feet. Everybody's probably seen compilations on Twitter about how good he is with his feet. He will save some shots, he will let in some goals like most keepers do, but I don't think he's as error prone. For some keepers you can accept the error because they're so good with their feet, and I think Onana, he's not the best goalkeeper in the world in terms of shot stopping, but on his feet, he's going to unlock so much for Manchester United. So can Man United sign Harry Kane? Should they sign Harry Kane? Will Harry Kane just go and sign a new mega 400 grand a week contract at Tottenham? Was that his plan all along for Harry Kane? Because he's not really come out and said anything, has he? This whole situation could be diffused instantly if he just comes out and says, look, I'm giving one more season to Tottenham and then I'll assess my options, depending on how Tottenham do, but obviously Tottenham don't want that. They don't want to lose him on a free. Similar to Mbappe, I think Daniel Levy is beginning to take that stance. It's, sign a contract, Harry, or we're going to sell you right now, but you've got to be pretty quick about your decision because the season's starting. We need to bring in a striker. I don't think they would be terrible without Harry Kane. I know that sounds crazy because they've brought in players like Maddison, they're bringing in other recruits, and Richarlison, he showed in the World Cup what he can do. And Spurs fans must have been watching the World Cup and looking at Richarlison and thinking, why is he not playing for us? Obviously, Harry Kane, 30 goals, tough to get him, Kane, Son in. James Maddison in the mix in that team is a good signing. And for, any deal for Harry Kane, if they were to get McTominay or Fred, I think that'd be okay for Tottenham. I think McTominay's not done in terms of his development, but I think he is quite limited in terms of what he can offer on the pitch. I think certain managers will use him in a certain way that is just going to get the absolute max out of him. I don't think Man United and this system in particular for Ten Hag is useful for McTominay unless he's coming on just trying to diffuse and just trying to, keep the game as it is. But he can't play the way Ten Hag needs him to, which is the one touch, the Busquets kind of player. He's not that, and he never will be that. But that doesn't mean he can't go to a Premier League team and do pretty well. He could go to West Ham, he could go to Fulham if they lose Paulinho. I think McTominay will be sold or will be part of some deal to bring in another player to Manchester United. I don't think he's going to go to Italy for that matter. Martial's not been much news on him, but it's the same sort of thing. You're not going to suddenly get a different Martial next year, are you? You know what you're going to get now. He's not lived up to his potential, but he'll probably go to France and get 25 goals. Players will do that. They will go and they will just find form in another league, but it just shows how strong the Premier League is, to be honest. Sancho was terrorising wingers in the Bundesliga. He comes to the Premier League, not been able to do it, really. He's not found consistency because it's not as easy. That's not to say those leagues are easy, but the Premier League is much more difficult. All of this going on whilst the club is still up for sale as well. So it's not been a perfect summer for Man United, I don't think. I'm yet to see them address key positions on the pitch, apart from keeper, because obviously the De Gea thing, people knew that this was coming. They need a killer forward. They need somebody that is going to get them 25, 30 goals, because if they don't get that, they're not going to challenge City, they're not going to challenge Liverpool, not going to challenge Arsenal. So there's 3 teams already, right? So if you want to get in the top 4, you have to try and challenge those teams. Chelsea are going to be coming back stronger. They've made some great signings. Newcastle, Eddie Howe said it himself that he's not ecstatic with the transfer window. They've not been able to do the business that they wanted to do. Hopefully they can try and finish in the top 4. It's going to be so competitive. Tottenham, we yet to see what kind of team they will be, but they've made some good signings so far. James Maddison is going to improve that team massively. The new keeper looks good as well. Arsenal not going anywhere, are they? They're only improving. Added Declan Rice, so it's going to be probably the most competitive Premier League season ever, because I don't see teams like Brighton getting worse either. Brentford improving. Brentford went out and signed Nathan Collins. This video was about Man United. Why weren't they after him? Ball-playing centre-back that is only going to get better and better with age. They paid £25 million for him from Wolves. Man United should have been all over that deal, especially if they knew Harry Maguire was wanting out, getting stripped of the captaincy. Just get this guy in, let him learn from Varane, and then just ease him in, and then he's there next season with Martinez or whoever. He would have been a good signing. There's other defenders as well. I still think they need another centre-back, another up-and-coming centre-back, because Martinez coming back from an Achilles injury, not easy to come back from. Yet to be seen if there's any after effects from that injury. And next to him, Varane, he is Mr. Injury, isn't he? He's going to get injured next year. He will do his knee in a game or something, and then he'll be out for a few weeks, and then he'll come back. And he's not going to play 3 times a week anyway when it gets to the crunch of next season. Everyone's after Colwill. I'm sure Man United would be well up for him if he was made available, but I just don't think Chelsea and Pochettino especially are going to want to sell him. I don't understand. He's an incredible defender, still so young. At Brighton, he just excelled in the second half of the season, especially. The move to Brighton would be, I think, the best move, because even if he's going to be on the bench at Chelsea, he's too good, I think, and he's at a time in his career where he just needs to play every single week, because you see that the players are good enough. Someone like Saliba, who's going out on loan, if he'd have just stayed and played at Arsenal, they might have done what they did last year a lot sooner. He was class. He got Player of the Year 2 times in France when he was there. So you can see these young players, they're ready, they just need the game time, and Brighton know that. Brighton would love to take him back, but the way I see it is Pochettino, Thiago Silva and the rest of the defence, Koulibaly as well, who's gone, they looked slow and sluggish last year, Chelsea, at the back especially. They had injuries to Reece James and Chilwell, of course. Cucurella didn't really play well. Azpilicueta was part of that slowness, and he's gone. So they have refreshed it, and I think Colwill should be one of the first names on the team sheet for Chelsea. Pochettino needs to be committed to this project, and if he's looking at playing young players, giving them a chance, which, by the way, Chelsea's the perfect club for the amount of players that have come through that academy in recent years and then been sold and obviously go on to do great things. Sometimes even players that they bring in, like Salah, De Bruyne, Lukaku to an extent, they've let go early, and I just think they've regretted it. And Colwill is someone you don't want to let go, really. So any indication that they might sell, I just think is crazy, to be honest, because you've got one of the most valuable defenders in the world there for the next 10 years. Just don't sell him. Why not let him go on loan to Brighton again? Let his value increase, give him a new contract, and then make him some promises. And Brighton will take that. Why wouldn't they take that on loan? Just pay his wages or whatever. Helps them improve, helps them in their European campaign next year. So that's my take on Colwill. I think he should stay, but a loan deal would probably work for Chelsea and Brighton, or whoever the club is that wants him and gets him on loan, because whilst Chelsea wouldn't want to improve a direct rival, there is absolutely no doubt that Man United, Liverpool, Man City, if Vardiol doesn't go through, would want this player. And that shows, doesn't it? The fact that these players would just have him in an instant, it shows that Chelsea should just keep him. It's just the logical thing to do. It doesn't make sense. I don't really believe any of the stories that you see, to be honest. I think he's looking for promises from Pochettino. Just played in the under-21s, so you'd expect over the next few weeks that you see some news about that, whether he's going to be allowed to leave, mental if so, or whether he gets a new contract or there's some sort of commitment, or you start seeing him in the friendly games playing as the centre-back from the off under Pochettino, because I think those first lineups in pre-season friendlies, people say pre-season friendlies don't matter. I disagree. I think these initial lineups, once all the international players are back and everyone's fit, and maybe game 2 or 3 of pre-season, you start to see what shape they're looking at, the players that they want to play in certain positions, and I think it'll be important to look at it and to note it for different teams. How are Arsenal going to set up in midfield when you've got Rice, Odegaard, Havertz? They've got a real collection. Smith Rowe, who apparently was training as a left-sided central midfielder towards the back end of last season when he came back from injury. And for Manchester United, what kind of midfielder are they going to put out when everyone's fit? Casemiro, Bruno, Mason Mount has signed. Where's Mason Mount going to play? Is he going to play in the midfield with those two players, or is he going to play left wing, right wing? Yet to be seen.